Alright, so Konami just did something that I don't think a lot of people were expecting. They brought back Steven Gerrard, but this time, for free. And I'm not even gonna lie, when I first saw this, I had one question in my head. Is there actually any real difference between the paid version we got before and this new free version? Or is this just Konami recycling content and calling it a reward? Because if you played eFootball long enough, you already know. Konami loves doing this. They drop a paid version first, make people spend coins, then months later, boom, free version drops, and now everyone is confused. So yeah, today we're breaking it down properly, stat by stat, playstyle, in-game feel, everything. And by the end of this video, you'll know if this free Gerrard is actually worth it, or if it's just a downgraded copy of what we already had. So let's get into it. Now, first things first. Both versions of Gerrard have the same playstyle, box to box. And that already tells you a lot about how this card is supposed to play, because box-to-box midfielders in eFootball are basically everywhere. They defend, they attack, they support build-up, they make late runs into the box, they track back, they press, they do everything, and Gerrard is one of the best examples of that playstyle when done right. So immediately, no matter which version you're using, you're getting that same identity, that same presence in midfield, that same I'm involved in everything type of player. And that's important because it means this is not a completely different card. This is still the same Gerrard at his core. Now let's start comparing the stats, because this is where things get interesting and also where a lot of people get misled, because on paper, the differences don't look that big. But in-game, small differences can actually matter a lot depending on your playstyle. Starting with stamina, the new free Gerrard has 98 stamina compared to 96 on the old paid version. And yeah, that might not sound like a big deal, but for a box-to-box midfielder, that is huge, because stamina basically determines how long your player can keep performing at a high level, especially if you're pressing a lot, making runs, constantly moving. And with 98 stamina, this new Gerrard can literally go the entire match without feeling tired, which means he's always available, always active, always contributing, and that's exactly what you want from this type of player. Now let's talk about kicking power. 92 on the new version compared to 91 on the old one. Again, small difference, but this is Gerrard we're talking about. Long shots, outside the box strikes, low screamers. This guy is known for that. And that extra bit of power just makes his shots feel more dangerous, especially in those moments where you just want to hit it first time. So yeah, slight upgrade here. Not game-changing, but definitely noticeable. Moving on to passing, low pass is actually slightly lower on the new version, 91 compared to 92 on the old one, while lofted pass stays the same at 91. And this is where things get interesting because technically, the old version is slightly better as a passer. And if you're someone who relies heavily on quick passing, build-up play, controlling the tempo, you might actually prefer the old version because that extra precision can make a difference in tight situations. But let's be honest, 91 low pass is still very good. So it's not like the new version suddenly became a bad passer. It's just a tiny downgrade. Now defensively, the new Gerrard actually gets a small boost. Defensive awareness goes up to 91 from 90, and tackling goes up to 90 from 89. Again, small upgrades, but they add up, especially for a box-to-box midfielder, because you want someone who can actually win the ball back consistently, not just run around. And with these stats, Gerrard feels slightly more reliable defensively compared to the old version. Speed is another area where the new version improves. 90 speed compared to 88 on the old one, and this is actually very important because it makes him feel more dynamic, more responsive, more capable of covering ground quickly, whether it's tracking back or making forward runs. That extra speed gives him an edge, and in a fast-paced game like eFootball, that matters a lot. Now, ball control is where the new version takes a slight hit, 88 compared to 90 on the old one. And yeah, this is one of those trade-offs. You gain speed, stamina, defensive ability, but you lose a bit of control on the ball, and in-game, this might make him feel slightly less smooth when turning or dribbling under pressure. But again, it's not a massive drop. It's just something you might notice if you're used to the old version. And then we have aggression and dribbling added to the new version, 87 aggression, 84 dribbling, which just adds more depth to his overall profile, making him feel more complete as a midfielder. So when you look at everything together, what do we actually have here? Is this a completely different card? Is this a massive upgrade? Or is this just a slightly tweaked version of what we already had? And honestly, it's the third option. This is basically the same Gerrard, just slightly rebalanced. The new version is a bit faster, a bit stronger defensively, has better stamina, while the old version is slightly better on the ball and in passing, and that's really it. And this brings us to the most important question. Is there actually any real difference in game? And the honest answer is, not really. If you used the old Gerrard before, this new one will feel very familiar, like almost identical, the way he moves, the way he positions himself, the way he contributes in both attack and defense. It's the same experience, just with very minor adjustments, and this is where things get interesting from a bigger perspective, because Konami basically took a paid card that people spent coins on and gave us a slightly updated version for free, and depending on how you look at it, that's either a W or a bit of a scam.